Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to Detox. If you're new to the practice, it's nice to have a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you could always use a pillow or you can have a blanket rolled up beside you. These are a couple things that you may use to support your body and throughout your practice tonight. And besides that, perhaps something to drink and set yourself up in a comfortable space and somewhere where you can hopefully be quiet. And these poses are restorative, but you also feel them while you're restoring in them. So don't be surprised by the sensations that may appear as we go through the practice. And at the same time, don't be surprised at how relaxed or how open you might feel at the end of the practice or even moments along the way. And when we're coming out of the poses nice and slowly and giving us an opportunity to really feel the benefits of the flow and the energy coming into our body. Hi Roz, hi Ari. Hey you guys, how does the mic sound? I was getting some feedback that maybe it wasn't quite loud enough, or it was pushing people to turn their video volume up all the way. So I went ahead and dialed it up a little bit on my side, but I want to make sure that I'm not too loud for you guys. So let me know how it sounds. Hi Biz. I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty interesting how we're landing on the practice daily. And, something that I'm doing when I'm turning the classes on live is I label them each day. So I'm actually typing in the date twice a day, April 30th. And so very aware of what day it is. And perhaps we forget what day of the week it is, but very aware of what day it is, and really feeling the expansion of each day. Like time has done some kind of crazy warp maneuver. Sometimes it's, the afternoon flies by. Sometimes it's the slowest day of the quarantine. There's really no rhyme or reason. Can't really figure it out. But it's been interesting to observe for sure. Oh, thank you, Ross. Okay. Oh, thanks, Ari. Yeah, I don't know why it was dropping out at the beginning. Somebody else, you guys were letting me know. Hi, Emily. Yeah, earbuds. I definitely have noticed some intermittent issues with streaming the music there. So, again, not to be frustrated by that component. If you want to just follow along on Spotify and hit start when I let you guys know, we'll be pretty much in the same place. Hi, cousin. We're on a little family Zoom. It's my aunt's birthday today. It was also one of my dear friends, his father's birthday today. So a couple birthday celebrations. So we got the whole family with all the little ones and the kids on Zoom, and I just think it's so hilarious. It's cute to sit back and watch, but to really say anything because everybody is talking at the same time, oh, it's hilarious. So just like I was saying with time, here we are, 7:30. Hey, what can we offer ourselves tonight? Even though we are landing on the last day of the month, I think a beautiful way of looking at the days. There was this person that was posting, and every day they would post the sunset, and they would cherish the day in a way and say, goodbye to the day as the sun was setting. And so I was mentioning the other night, if you're really in touch or you begin to connect in with the rhythm of being human on Earth, then you can kind of let the clock slide. Not as fixed and not as rigid as I have to get somewhere at a certain time. And especially now we have an opportunity and to watch, the sun rise and come up and upon us and move, and it's reminding us that we are perpetually moving, even though gravity is keeping us grounded. Right? That's why we're not spinning. Sometimes, as you really start to open up these channels, you're going to feel the vibrations. You're going to allow Mother Earth to come into you, or you into it, and you'll feel some of those little sways. Here in California, we get the earthquake once in a while. We had one, I don't know, had to be a couple weeks ago now, a week and a half ago. Jolted, was straight out of bed, and that's a powerful experience. And so the reminder is that we're perpetually moving and evolving. At the same time, we've been privileged and to feel what it's like to ground ourselves. This idea of rooting and staying still, as many of us has been, and more still than we've ever been in our entire lives. And so let's see what this practice offers us tonight. It'll unfold. It will begin to reveal itself as you move through it. And so you don't have to try to, figure it out with your mind, right? If you do, it's just another way of creating another illusion. And with your mind, that's easy to do. And to actually sit and to see what's being offered, and that takes a bit more patience and a bit more practice. So I hope you all have a nice experience tonight. Let's go ahead and lie down onto your backs and stretch out with your legs long, the arms by your sides with your palms facing up. And that's just an easy way to bring more space across the chest and to get the shoulders to drop down. It's externally rotating in the shoulder in relationship into the center line of your body. Hi, Ren. Yeah, I've upped my mosquito game tonight. I'm wearing some nice colorful socks. I think they've certainly appreciated the company and the opportunity to come and mess with me and let me know that I'm in their space, and for sure. But I'm willing to explore it and to see if we can come to some sort of reconciliation and share the space. And consider that anytime you step into a place and where there's another being, or there's an animal or anything else that is living, and see if you can make up with a greeting to share the space, and versus identifying in the space as yours or theirs. And we can begin to break down this idea of ownership, and that we think we own things, we think they're ours. But especially when it comes to the physical contact, materialized world, the more you explore your practice in depth with mindfulness and awareness, you may be more willing not only to receive, but to actually give these things away, or at least attach less to them as yours and see them as ours. And go ahead and take a few deep breaths in through your nose, out of your mouth. And please give yourselves a lot of love tonight. And at this point, you know that you never actually know what you're getting yourself into and the positions that I'm going to invite you and to join me in. And some nights you may find are easier than others. It's just a simple way to reflect the day. Some days are easier, and some days present greater challenges. But as you open, as you allow the space to be shared, and begin to trust yourself a little bit more. And you may feel a little bit support even though you might be alone, even though you may be practicing and by yourself. You might start to feel an overwhelming, with certainty, supporting layer that exists as part of your experience. Go ahead and bend your legs so that your feet are flat. Take your left arm over your head and roll onto your left side so you come into the fetal position on your left side. You can always scoot yourself back into the middle of your mat a little bit. And rest your head down onto your bicep. And feel this bottom shoulder. Relax your belly. And we're going to stay here hopefully nice and comfortable on your left side. And take your right arm up towards your ceiling. And all we're going to do is hook the right arm behind our back. And so turn your thumb in and bend at your elbow. And then tuck your hand and your forearm behind your back. And if you're not feeling too much, you can always crawl the hand up a little bit higher. And if you're feeling a lot, then keep your hand and your forearm a little bit lower. You've been practicing a lot, and it's very common, even in life, and to hold on to a lot of tension in the shoulders turning forward. And so this draws us into a space in where we can feel the stretch across the front of the shoulder, perhaps into the chest. As your head is heavy, you might even feel this on the right side of your neck if you're fairly tight in the neck and the top of the shoulder. And if you notice that the belly has firmed up a bit, utilize the awareness in observing and the air coming into your body and the air going out of your body, and let your belly soften again. I don't know about you guys, but I have definitely felt the benefits of a daily detox practice. I feel like the sensitivity of my body and what I can feel, whether it's in a pose or coming out of a pose. But at the end of the practice, there has been some crazy energy If you just sit with that, even after we namaste and finish our practice, if you just sit wherever you are, it might be something that you've never felt before. It's the culmination of a lot of stillness and a lot of gateway opening. New tracks and new channels, new chi flow. And functionally, this arm tucked behind your back is going to make it feel like your arm gets a little bit longer. And the beauty of this is that you're not forcing yourself into the shape. And you're actually communicating, and through the process of opening the body into the shape, and observing anything that may appear in your beautiful mind. And let's take one deeper breath here on your left side. And soft sigh, and as you exhale, you can start to slide your right hand down your back. And then bring your right arm back onto your right side, and so that your hand is resting over your bum. If your arm feels heavy, that's what you want to feel. It's a byproduct of compressing deeper into the joint and letting your muscles release. You'll feel the difference or the opposite when you're in a flow class. You're activating your muscles to create lightness in the feeling of your body, and lightness coming and taking pressure out of the joint. And so the direct opposite here, and which is why you feel the heaviness of your arm. And stay here on your left-hand side. Start to open your right knee so it's pointing up towards the ceiling. And then draw your right knee towards your shoulder. Reach your right arm through the inner thigh. And grab onto the outside of your right foot. And so right knee towards your shoulder. Right arm through the inner thigh. And wrap the fingers over the outside edge of your right foot. And it's like how you hold the leg for happy baby. This might get you into your outer right hip stretch. And keep a hold of your foot, but you can let your foot come down to touch the inner left thigh. And then once your foot is resting, and the knee can draw away from the shoulder any amount. The hand is still connected to the foot. And it's going to draw your right shoulder down into the socket and away from your neck and away from your ear. And close the eyes, soften the belly, and feel what this pose has to offer to the expansion of your awareness and trust and inner peace. And notice as you lie in some of these positions when the villain appears, of your own mind, your own villain. And sometimes, especially when you're deepening your practice, you'll feel like there's multiples going on inside you. You've got the angel on one shoulder, you got the devil on the other shoulder. Easy example. Relax the jaw and the tongue inside of your mouth. And then you can start to bring your right knee back towards the shoulder. And the fingers soften and release from the edge of your foot. And then take your right leg and let it go all the way out long onto your mat. And feel as you extend through the knee, and kick all the way out through the heel. And once your leg is straight, and gently, slowly, possibly even with your eyes closed, and begin to roll onto your back, coming off of your left side. As you roll onto your back and your left knee comes up, you're welcome to scoot yourself back into the middle of your mat. And feel your hips and your shoulders square. And relax your neck, feel the space. And coming back into the left side of your shoulder, and then bring your left knee in. Interlace the fingers onto your left shin below the knee. And so you're set up in a wind relieving pose. And relax your right toes. You can roll the tip of your tongue around the inside of your lips. Watch your jaw fall out. Not literally, of course. And it may feel with every passing exhale that your left knee comes in a little bit closer to your chest. And you're doing it, everybody. You have literally invited and accepted a life with a ritual built into it. Breathing every day and becoming more aware and seeing the mindfulness and practice weave its way through your existence and how you not only see the world, but how you interact with all living beings in space. You're doing it. It's happening. And at least in our culture here in the West, it's been something that is easy to brush aside or say, I don't have time, I'm too busy. Well, we've done it. It's happening. And let's go ahead and soften the grip on your left shin. And feel the openness of this one side of your body. Let both legs go out straight. And returning to the position where you started your practice this evening. But noticing you don't feel the same. And you haven't left a 2 foot by 5 foot rectangle. But you can sense that something is different. Something has evolved, something has changed amongst the layers of your being, physical, mental, emotional, and of course spiritual. Stillness is pretty sweet. It's like taking a little fingertip of honey and putting it on your tongue. The vibrancy of your taste buds, they go wild. Let's go ahead and bend your legs so that your feet are flat. And take your right arm up over your head. And then you can scoot your hips to the left a little bit and we'll roll on to our right side. And all the way onto your right hip. And set it up and so that your head can rest into your right bicep. And be holding this compression into your right shoulder. And slide your knees up a little bit higher if you'd like to. Soften the belly, feel the release for your low back. And when you turn your body like this, then gravity can come down and through your hips and from a horizontal direction. It's not very often we get to feel that. And relax the neck. Slowly take your left arm up towards the ceiling. And turn your thumb in and then start to bend at the elbow and bring your left hand and your left forearm behind your back. If the chest and the deltoid are really tight, keep the hand towards the low back. If you're not feeling it too much, crawl the hand up the spine. You might find a sensation top of the shoulder, side of the neck. And the position of the arm is going to roll and the shoulder back into the socket. And once you get your arm set, and go ahead and soften. You can close the eyes and enjoy the sweetness of the stillness. If you got the hand tucked up high, slowly begin to let your wrist slide down your spine. And so without gripping it or activating the muscles that you were just opening, and you can feel that space. Let your left hand come to rest. And the arm might feel pretty heavy here. And your head stays heavy. Slowly start to lift your left knee. And so your left knee points towards the ceiling. And then start to draw it towards your shoulder. Take your left arm through the inner thigh. And wrap your fingers around the outer edge of your left foot. And once you got the fingers wrapped around, then start to let the foot come down towards your right inner thigh so the knee can turn up and fall away and from your shoulder. And you let that tuck of the fingers, the placement of the foot, and draw more opening to the top of the shoulder and side of the neck. And feel the position in your body. Close the eyes down if not already. And we'll continue to share the space here. side. Slowly let the knee come back towards your shoulder. And then you can soften the grip around the outer edge of your foot. And feel your left leg straighten back out onto the mat. You might see a good amount of sensation and flow through your left leg. And then go ahead and start to turn yourself onto your back. And scoot yourself as you need. And shoulders flat, hips heavy. And the left leg stays long, and then bring your right knee towards your chest. Interlace the fingers onto your right shin for wind relieving. And really heavy eyelids. And really soft face. You might even feel a pulsating effect in your hands through your arms, and from this opening you've developed in through your shoulders and your chest and the sides of your neck. And you can gently release your grip from your shin and slide your right leg back out onto the mat. And hopefully you're picking up on that in realization back to where you started. In a pose like Shavasana, you're going to visit that pose as many times as you possibly can in your life before your life, one day as you know it, draws to completion. So the more times than that we end up in being here, it reminds us through the familiarity of our practice, and building an understanding of what it means to let go and to not hold on to life too tight. Like trying to control it too much or at all. It's like driving your car and squeezing the steering wheel until your knuckles are white, and we want to let go of white knuckling our lives. And this transformation can be taking place every time you find yourself in this position. And take a deeper breath. When you're ready, you can bend both of your legs. And roll onto your left side. And use your right hand. Bring yourself all the way up into a seat. You know, we've been on our back and on our sides all night so far. So facing the top of your mat. And cross one ankle in front of the other. And if your outer hips are holding some tightness, roll your mat up behind you. Or put a folded blanket or pillow underneath your bum. And so that your hips can be above your knees, or at least level with your knees as they're falling out. And let your gaze settle down, resolve into this position, cross-legged seat. And then take your right arm out into a T. And turn your thumb down so you're internally rotating from the shoulder. And then start to twist open, turning your chest to the right and hooking your right forearm behind your back. The back of the hand on the low back. And possibly you can slide the fingertips all the way around to the crease of your left hip. And take your other hand, your left hand, and gently place it over the cap of your right knee. And let go of any grip in your bum. And this isn't about enforcing the twist. But here you can practice in softening your belly and actually letting your left ear fall towards your left shoulder. As the right shoulder drops down and creates more space in the right side of your neck. If you close your eyes, see if you're picking up splashes of light or visions of objects. If you hold on here too tight to the steering wheel, it's not going to be very enjoyable at all. So learn to present yourself and with confidence and through your awareness. And from there the mind will expand, the body will also expand. And don't be surprised, this one can certainly And draw up an emotional response. Maybe the response while you're in it is more of one that is anger, frustration, but when you come out and you feel the beautiful release of whatever you might have been gripping physically or mentally, that's when the emotion starts to flow. And one more minute on this side. All you got to do is let your right hand slide across your back in slow motion as you come out of the twist. Eyes can be closed. And chin can remain soft. And then rest your hands on the cap of your knees. And even when you think you've made it back to center, you might still feel like you're twisted. Or like your right knee is sitting higher than your left knee. Check that out. And observe what you're feeling right here, right now. It's one of those spots in where the emotions can flow. And you're welcome to take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale all the air out of your mouth. You soften the chin and hands behind you, and so that you can switch the cross of your legs. Bring your left ankle in front of your right ankle, please. It's never too late if you still want to put something underneath your bum, and so you're not sitting and aching in the flexion of your hips. You can do that. And let your chin soften towards your chest. You relax the neck. You might feel that little bobblehead action. Go ahead and take your left arm out into a T. And turn your left thumb down so you internally rotate from the shoulder. You bend your left arm, take the hand behind your low back and across. And back of the hand possibly and fingertips all the way around to the inside of your right hip crease. And take your right hand across and put it like a cap over your left knee. The left shoulder drop down, and then your right ear towards your right shoulder. Feel whatever you're feeling right now. And ride the waves of your breath about 1 more minute on this side. And close the eyes, go really slow, and start to let the left hand slide off. You feel how far you went in your twist. And with your eyes closed as you return to center, and cap the knees with your hands. You feel this adventure tracing you towards your center. It should feel fairly different from when you started your practice this evening. You can let your eyes soften back into the space. And take your hands behind you. Uncross your ankles, straighten your legs out. And go ahead and lie all the way down onto your back, please. All of that, and so that you can feel this openness to your chest, and totally different relationship with your shoulders and your neck and your spine, all the way down into the structure of your pelvis and your legs. And remember, the more times that we can find ourselves in this shape right now, in what's called Shavasana, the more inclined we are and to let go of some of that control. And when we let go of the control, we feel that support that I was talking about at the beginning of the practice. And far less pressure. You weren't put on this earth. Nobody was born with the pressure that said you have to have all the answers. And so it's the support, it's the love, it's the care that we can offer ourselves and then in turn offer to one another. And sometimes, like what we're going through right now, that can present itself and with some additional sacrifices that need to be made. And some additional clarity that we may need to process and work through in order to get to. But a whole lot of support. And it's the word tonight, and support. I invite you all to stay in your Shavasana, and remember, if you take these few moments and whenever you do come out, to feel your body and to observe the vibration of your body, you might just feel quite a bit of energy. The energy that we're all sharing. The energy, you can think of it as, leasing it versus owning it. Borrowing it. In that way, you just don't hold on to it and singularly. You put it out there energetically for everybody and to receive, for everybody to take their peace. You might feel a little bit better that way. I want to thank you all so much for sharing your practice, and for being open to explore practice that might sound a little bit different, that might move and dramatically different. But cultivating this patience and awareness within yourself is pretty special. It takes a lot of courage. And so I admire and I'm inspired by each and every one of you. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your night. And I look forward to practicing with you in the morning and for our 10 a.m. flow. And goodbye, April 2020. And we shall see what's next, everybody. Namaste.